Okay, let's do this. So there are two ways to date. Choice number one, randomly and hoping for the best. And choice number two is knowing the secret to filtering out from the very beginning the flakes and the trolls and the time wasters, the players, and anyone who is beneath your level so that they don't waste your time, money, attention, or raise your expectations only to destroy them. And instead, you follow the exact steps to magnetizing and inspiring men of high character into real and lasting devotion. It's a secret, by the way, that's universal, and therefore works specifically with men of high character, no matter your age, weight, financial situation, the shape of your earlobes, I don't care. So if you've ever met Mr. Right, just for him to turn into Mr. Wrong in a few months, and if you're at wit's end and ready to call it quits, then listen closely, because in the next few minutes, I'm going to share with you how you can quickly magnetize the high character man of your dreams in a way he can't resist and inspire him into love and, in particular, devotion. And not for a week, not for a month or a year or even 2 years, but for a lifetime. To show you why this works, I'll also show you the three exact common myths that may have been absolutely sabotaging your love life without you even knowing it. I mean, it's frustrating, isn't it? I mean, it's terrible watching other women snapping up the great men before they even have the chance to experience what an amazing partner you would be. And it's tragic. I see it happen over and over again, having been coaching men and women for 15 years. Smart women getting played for fools by the wrong men. The fact is, you're here with me today. The fact that you're here with me today shows me that you are putting in the work and research to be a great partner, which suggests to me that you deserve and that you've earned a man like that too. Would you agree? Because the truth is that the world is actually full of high-quality men of high character trying to find you. I know where those men are, what they're craving to hear from you, and what lights up their devotional switch so they can serve your happiness for a lifetime like you deserve. My name is Adam Gilad. I'm an executive dating coach for both men and women for 15 years, and a Stanford Humanities Center graduate research fellow. I've spent the last 15 years or so coaching both men and women on the psychology of attachment, deep bonding, and devotion. I'm known for my Attract, Connect, Inspire co-ed workshops and programs that teach men and women how to get past the small talk and into the levels of depth and connection that create the ground for real love. I'm the founder of the Smart Daters Academy, and today I'm going to share with you the deep key to every man of high character's heart and mind and their deep psychology. By the way, you notice I only use the term man of high character because that's what this method finds and inspires. I call it the devotion switch that makes only the best men of high character, drop their guard, get real, and happily devote themselves to you. The way it works is both simple and jaw-droppingly effective. It's almost mystical in its power, and it's the exact opposite of what you've been told your entire life about men. So before I tell you, I'm just going to show you with Emily's story. So Emily was a client of mine, and it all started with disaster for her. She'd been dating Robert for about 10 months. He'd been charming, fun, generous, supportive, and she was 100% confident things were going in the right direction. Then, one evening, early last June, he invited her to his favorite special restaurant. She had a deep feeling in her belly that this was going to be the big night. After all, it was the same place where she had fallen in love with him so many months ago, and first said to him, "I love you." Picking out her dress for that night, she could feel butterflies deep in her belly. Her heart pounded softly and warmly in anticipation. Before Emily left her house, she slipped into her sexiest red satin dress and looked at how beautiful she felt in the mirror. She even had her hair specially done that afternoon. She was so ready. She wanted this night to be the night she would never forget. Well, maybe you've been there too, picking out your favorite dress, getting gorgeous for an anticipated special evening. Maybe you've met someone and felt that this one, finally, this one was your fate. But for Emily, tragically, that fate would come true, but in the most horrible way. When Robert appeared, he was a few minutes late and clearly nervous. She could see little beads of sweat on his temples. He seemed jittery. He would, start sentences, then suddenly stop, and she could feel in the depths of her heart what was coming, that marriage proposal she had long dreamed of, but when he said he cared for her, but he needed space, her heart shriveled like a piece of paper thrown into a fire. He said he wasn't sure where they were going, and finally he said these devastating words. Yeah, he had met another woman. He didn't mean to. It just happened. Emily's throat squeezed shut and she clawed for air. She told me, when she met me, it felt like hot sand burning inside her mouth. Her eyes stung, her stomach twisted. This couldn't be happening. Hadn't she done everything right? Hadn't she been there every time he needed her? Hadn't she done all those things women are supposed to do to keep her man happy? As tears burned in her eyes, he stammered, he apologized, he pushed back his chair, he mumbled something about loving her, but not being in love with her anymore. And then he vanished into the night forever. Emily cried her eyes out for 2 whole months. When she finally gathered herself together and came to me for consulting, it felt to me that she was wrung dry, almost lifeless. Now, lots of men had disappointed her, but this one was different. This one was like a dagger to the heart. She thought she had done everything right, but as I listened to her story and got to know her, I could tell she had failed to flip that one hidden devotion switch that makes a man happily commit himself to one woman. Well, I'm going to show you what I showed her. I'm also going to show you why so many of the popular things you've been told in magazines and awful books out there that get a man to commit are exactly wrong. In fact, why they're dangerously, heart-sinkingly, gut-wrenchingly wrong. And why trying to prove yourself to a man is the exact opposite way to get a man to commit to you. And why being that good old reliable woman in his life may help at first, but will actually destroy the connection you've started. And most of all, I'm going to show you how that to be that one woman who triggers that one particular word in a man of real, high character in his brain that launches him off the fence forever and compels him to beg to be your man, your husband, and the happy, fulfilled, lifelong servant of your happiness and wholeness. Because if you're like most women, that's what you really want. When you let all your guards down, that's what you really desire. You want to turn this one key in him so that he will feel so fulfilled to serve you with a passion he's never felt for any woman before. In short, that's what I've been talking about, and that's what I'm going to show you. That's what I mean by the devotion switch. By flipping this one switch for Emily, I was able to help turn her devastation into happiness. And I'll tell you the happy ending to her story in a minute. I think you're going to like it. But what's important for you right now is that because of the proven psychological effectiveness of flipping this switch, I've decided to take what I've shared with the thousands of both men and women in my programs and in my live weekend training workshops and coaching groups, along with all my training from my Stanford PhD work in language and communications, and finally put it all down in one place. The exact 5-step process that flips a man of high character into devotion. Now, that makes a great man want to connect with a high-quality woman like you on a deep emotional level and stay connected and devoted to you forever. It's the universal devotion switch I have seen work over and over. Again, no matter your looks, body type, age, city or country, tall or short, doesn't matter. And unlike most dating and relationship experts, I have been working closely with both men and women now for over a decade. And that's how I've discovered this simple, universal switch that makes men literally beg women to be their girlfriend, fiancé, wife. I've shared it with my private clients already. Share with them the work of research from Dr. Carl Jung, Sigmund Freud's greatest student, that proves nothing compares to the power of this one universal switch. Now, let me explain this. Jung, you probably know who he is, Carl Jung, knew that mere commitment is not what men need or seek. He said, and I want you to listen closely, because the secret lies here. He said, woman is both world and fate. That is why she is so important to the man. Now, let me explain this. Why is it so important to you? The key word here is fate, because I'm about to show you how to make sure your man sees you as his lucky, 1 in a million blessed fate, not just another date. Underlying all Jung's work and all of my work is this principle. Listen closely. Men don't commit to their fate. They don't want to commit to women. They are inspired upward into devotion. The way a knight is inspired upwards by his lady. Now, I discovered corroborating gold in the text of the revered global anthropologist Joseph Campbell. You've probably heard of him. He's made so famous by Bill Moyers in the classic PBS interview series. And his work on the hero's journey, which, by the way, inspired Star Wars and pretty much every movie since then, shows that this one universal switch is not only the one that inspires devotion in men, but is also this one universal switch that transcends both place and time across all of recorded human history. That's why I say there's an almost mystical power that every woman, including you, already has, And all you need to do is switch it on. And I'm going to show you exactly how. Switching on this eternal quality, this devotion switch, enables you to captivate the heart, the inspired heart of any man you choose, to awaken his devotion to you with your almost hypnotic, inspiring gift without you having to do much of anything at all. Now, most women today have lost touch with this secret power. And it turns out the answer has been right in front of you for over 1,000 years. It's written about in mythology and song across all cultures. And what's so amazing and reassuring is that this power or gift works for you simply because you're a woman. And the small details of your life, age, place, job, those all become irrelevant. Because what I'm about to show you universally inspires into devotion the best, noblest men, men of true, noble, high character. And when you do this right, it works for all women, including you, and gets you finally basking in the love and the adoration of a caring, thoughtful, loving man you know is out there, and he's looking for you right now, I guarantee you that. So I need you to pay very close attention, because if you miss just one of the 5 steps of what I'm about to show you and share with you about this universal quality, what I call this Camelot Code, it might not work for you. So I want you to get all of it. Now remember, this is the exact same formula that I shared with Emily during our first session. Yes, the same Emily I mentioned at the beginning, who was 47, divorced, and convinced before she learned all this that she would be alone forever. Now let me tell you quickly about another client, Carly, for a second, because it's important and highly instructive. What a great woman Carly is. I mean, like you probably, competent, loving, thoughtful, attractive, full of life and love, and ready to meet someone. And she met Art through a work-related event, and they couldn't believe how much they had in common. You know that feeling, I sure do, when you both love the same movies and TV binge shows, the same bands, the same hobbies. They both skied, and as it turns out, they even each had 2 kids roughly the same age. And they were both equally devoted to being good parents. Well, it wasn't long before they were doing everything together. He was respectful and considerate. They attended work and social events together. They planned ahead. She shifted her schedule to accommodate him. Carly, an independent woman, took care of her business, and he took care of his. When he had hard times at work, she focused on how others had let him down, thinking this was what he wanted or needed to hear. She made everything all right for him, and even mothered him a bit, and she liked the result when he bragged they were fitting together like 2 puzzle pieces. What started out as a hot romance settled over about 6 months into something that felt good and, dangerous word here, comfortable to her as she made his life easy. See what's coming? But what felt good to her was exactly what was ringing the death knell for their relationship. In fact, the future she imagined together would never even happen, even though she envisioned it every day and night. She was sure she'd pick the right man for her and wanted to make sure she'd be the wife he had always wanted. So she did what she thought a man would like. She blamed the world with him when he was grumpy about work or politics. She stayed giving when he acted selfish and dismissive. She tried to have him believe something will show up when he expressed frustration about his success in life. And while she was busy being there for him, she missed all the signals that he was slowly pulling away until one Friday afternoon, he texted her he couldn't make dinner. Then he refused her calls all day Saturday, all day Sunday. By Sunday, she texted, "Baby, what's wrong?" She wasn't ready for his answer. Everything. It was as if someone had kicked her right in the stomach. "Can I come over?" she asked. He agreed to meet her, not at his house, but at a nearby park. It was far away, she later realized, from either of their families. When he appeared, he looked sullen and gray and embarrassed, and he didn't or couldn't speak. She stroked his hair like she always did. "It's okay, baby. Whatever is going on, you can tell me." "I'm so sorry," he said, "but I don't think we're right for each other." Her throat just closed. Her stomach clamped into a tiny iron ball. "I'm sorry," he said. "I mean, I love you. You're great, but I don't think I'm in love with you anymore." The words plunged a dagger into her chest, and a sense of both shame and numbness engulfed her. Desperately, she wanted to talk with him, fix this, show him what he was missing about her, and even as she reached out for him, he said they would talk about it later, but of course later never came. Even after all their beautiful shared times together, all those late-night conversations, all those times she comforted him in his anger against life, like that, he was gone. Lying in bed alone, tears streaming from her eyes, she reviewed over and over again, what did she do wrong? Everything had seemed fine between them. They never fought. She never challenged him. Their sex was great. She felt that she was going to drown in confusion and grief if she couldn't figure this out. Then she read an article of mine online about good men and their heroic core, grounded both in anthropology and depth psychology, and she set an appointment with me. She told me the story I just recounted for you, and I gave her 2 words, and those 2 words changed her life and her happiness. The first word, hurt, as it does with virtually every woman I coach and work with. I said that the problem this word held was a silent killer, and that word? She had become convenient. But isn't that what men want? She asked, her voice once again choking with pain. I told her the truth. Men will take convenience, but they don't marry it. Men will take convenience, but they don't marry it. But who's going to marry me now? I'm 51. I've got 2 kids in junior high. He was my last hope. Well, once I unraveled all the false, limiting beliefs in that statement, and there were many, I let her know she wasn't alone in believing that any given man was her last hope. Then, little by little, through her tears, I revealed to her how an entire new pool of men, specifically much better men, men of high character, were about to appear in her life. She scoffed. She didn't believe me. She insisted she had gone through all the pool of guys on Match and other sites who wrote her. But I told her something that gave her her first glimmer of hope. Until now, I said, you've been invisible to the truly great men. Does that sound familiar? And I'm going to show you exactly why and how to fix that. Fast forward 7 months, you would never recognize this was the same woman. She arrived early at our favorite cafe for our coaching session in Santa Monica. And when I rushed in, sorry I was late, traffic in LA, I saw her standing at the counter laughing with a man who looked like George Clooney, wasn't him, looked like him, on a good day. It didn't take an expert to see his eyes were gazing at her with nothing less than wonder. And Carly, she now positively radiated confidence, and she radiated joy, and she was like a magnet of intrigue and adoration. Carly's days of feeling hopeless and crying were way over. Once I had walked her through the Camelot Code, she had men writing and texting her every single day. She had men approaching her at cafes and single dads introducing themselves after school, literally begging her to spend time with them, to give them a chance. They didn't want to let her be the one that got away. The hopelessness that had paralyzed her just a few months before now seemed like ancient history. Her joy and gratitude were epic, like someone who had been starving and who had been shown the entrance to an endless and bountiful feast. What I taught her made her very careful in allowing only the right men, Camelot men, into her life to seriously woo her. So what made this 51-year-old single mother of 2 go from being thrown aside to suddenly being sought after by over 14 of the best, most successful, caring, and honorable men in our town? Well, to start, everything began to change for her when I showed her how men operated not according to popular rules of convenience, but instead unswervingly along the lines of the Camelot Code. Here's the secret. What men tell you what they want and what they actually want are often 2 entirely different things. Now, if you make this mistake and play to what he tells you he wants, you will fall into what I call the chasm of convenience. There's that word again, where relationships die horrible deaths. And the tricky thing is, that gap may not show in the first week, the first month, or even year. Sad to say, you probably won't even see it coming, which is why you need to know the difference between a man's surface words and his profound, noble heart. If you don't, you will fall over that edge into this bottomless chasm of convenience. And love will be lost forever. So pay extra attention here because this is really important. It's not because men are evil or tricky. It's that men themselves often aren't conscious of their own profound wells of heroic devotion. They get distracted by life. And it's you who wakes it up for him until they see it reflected in your eyes. I will show you how to separate your Camelot man from men of lesser character, men whose noble hearts are already connected to their words, and I will show you how to call forth his core, high character, heroic nature, so that you can tell the noble men from the fakers, so that you will both find and inspire your Camelot man into true and lasting devotion. Yeah, most men will try to squeeze you in around their current life, like Carly, but most men will stop at making you a convenience. And you, until you know the Camelot Code, will probably twist yourself into pretzels trying to fit into that. Literally twist yourself out of shape into anxiety and misery, thinking you're doing the right thing to get him to commit, which will never work. He will even say how much he appreciates how easy you make his life. But for you, from now on, just as I did for Emily and Carly, I want you to hear those deadly words, convenience, when he says easy. You think it will make him love you, convenience, but all it does is make him want to keep you around for the moment. But here's the really tragic part. He'll keep you around as his convenience until he finds what he really wants out there, what his soul wants, what his heroic, noble core is craving, what every good man's noble, silent heart truly wants. Sure, making yourself convenient for him, made you available to his body needs, maybe even his mind, but it will make you invisible to his soul and will make you disposable, and he will leave you as sure as night follows day. Even though it feels as if you've been doing exactly what a man has told you what he wants all along. Horrible, isn't it? Now, I want to make sure this never happens to you again. That pattern ends for you today. That's why I'm going to share with you something that's counterintuitive to everything you've heard from the white noise out there of dumb articles and unschooled experts. If you let him lead you to the cliff into the chasm of convenience, you're actually assuring that he will abandon you there, and that he will stand on that cliff's edge and just watch you as you fall and fall and fall, while the best men take the hands of other women and walk into devotional bliss. Those women who don't know the Camelot Code. Now here's the difference. The women who fall, or are drop-kicked, into the chasm of convenience all tend to blindly obey the same three common myths that so many women still think are truth. Let's get rid of those myths first. The first myth, the first deadly myth, is that a man commits to a woman because she pleases him. Wrong. Dead wrong. The truth is that a man of high character only falls deeply and permanently in love when he pleases you. More precisely, when his efforts to please his woman are acknowledged, appreciated, and rewarded. Magic formula there. I have a lot more to say on that. And I teach you the exact ways to do those three things that wrap a man's devotional heart in warmth. In other words, you might have been dating exactly backwards all this time trying to please him. Now, most women falsely believe that men commit when women please them, but men don't even want commitment. To a man, a commitment is just another dry business deal in his life, a convenience. Is that what you want? No. Do you want to become a mere convenience to a man? No, of course not. You're better than that. By contrast, and listen closely, a man becomes devoted to you because his work, his effort to please you and make your life better gives him a feeling of nobility, of fulfillment, purpose, and self-worth that he can't get anywhere else in the world. So you had better be that place, and he'll never leave. In other words, your relationship calls to his nobility and his high character, and in turn, his nobility reaches out to you. Now, once you learn exactly how to reverse the mistake you've been making against the Camelot Code by trying to please, something again which has been proved to be true across time and place throughout history, you will finally have your knight in shining armor, and he will serve you happily and eagerly and enthusiastically and serve your joy. It is our pleasure, and it's what makes us devote ourselves to the right woman. Myth number 2. Because studies show married men are happier, men seek commitment just like women do. That is myth number 2. All I can say about that is no, 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 no. Now, I've worked with men for over a decade, and I have never, ever, 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 ever once heard a man use the word commitment with anything other than fear or boredom, maybe terror in his eyes. I've never once heard a man come to me and say, I want to date, I'm looking to commit to somebody. Not once. I mean, I get it. To a woman, commitment means safety, security, and the ability to finally relax and share the infinite depths of your love. But to a man, another commitment? Well, you commit to a diet, you commit to a job, you commit to a business deal, you get committed to an asylum, to prison. So when it comes to women, men do not seek commitment. You want a man who seeks to be called upward into devotion. Now, if you walk away with just one lesson from today's introductory video of what I can offer you, make it this. Men do not seek commitment. They get inspired into devotion, which is why that devotion switch is all important. That's the way you get your man of high character, and I'm going to show you exactly how. I mean, you see it in epic tales like Tristan and Isolde, Lancelot and Guinevere, and in modern stories that have so much resonance like The Notebook, and even with John Legend and Chrissy Teigen, and in his beautiful song, All of Me. I don't know if you know it, but listen to the lyrics here. Give your all to me, I give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning. Remember what Jung said about his world and fate. You're my end and my beginning. You're the lady on the high castle wall that I do everything for, that makes everything worthwhile. Even when I'm losing out in the world, I'm winning because I'm doing it for you. And he says, I love all your curves and edges, all your perfect imperfections. That's the kind of love we're all looking for, because that is true love. You don't want to be the woman who inspires I'm sorry, you do want to be the woman who inspires eager devotion rather than bland, obligatory commitment. And until you make this switch to the devotion switch, you'll miss out on the best men. And you'll watch them from afar as they devote themselves to a Camelot Code woman who already knows the secret. I mean, think about it. It makes obvious sense. Any good man, any noble man must be driven by devotion to a cause. Could be his community, his environment, his craft, something that lights a fire in his heart and spirit. Well, I want to be clear about this. For lifelong love to happen, his cause also needs to be you. He has to fight for you, win for you, give to you. He needs to see you as what Jung called his world and his fate. And he has to be in service to you and your happiness because that represents his fate. With what I have to show you, you will now be the reason for him to get up in the morning and go win in the world. You will now be the inspiration for him to do his best, to give his best, when he feels that his efforts in this world are seen, appreciated, and rewarded by you. He will stop looking at other women or seeking validation for his worth anywhere else but with you and you alone. And finally, you will become not only the one and only home for his heart and body, but more importantly, for his very masculine value and core noble spirit, who he is in this world. No healthy man leaves that ever. Now, would you like to learn how to do that? I'll tell you just after myth number 3. Now, you've been told you should never challenge a man. That was Carly's mistake. But the truth is, if you don't, or if you do it wrong, he will find a woman who does challenge him upwards. And note this, in one very specific, inspiring way. Remember this principle. Men need to feel heroic, like a knight of Camelot. He needs to feel his efforts at pleasing you, including his work and making money, is in service to a high purpose, namely his lady, you. This is why your crystal clear appreciation of his efforts at pleasing you and making your life better is your life or death love skill. But let's take this one step deeper, to a level that 98% of women will never reach, which is not so obvious, and this is part of the universal devotion switch I mentioned earlier, is that he needs you to mirror back to him not only what he's doing right, but how he can step up even more into being the great man, your noble hero, that he is inside. Now, one of my favorite women's sensuality teachers puts it this way: my body is asking you questions about what your soul wants you to become. God, I love that statement, because men respond. I'm a man, I know this. My soul responds to a woman's body. Now, it doesn't mean the shape of a body. It means the desire, the love, the devotion, the presence. That a woman's body, her physical presence, her yearning for us to be great, what that brings to us. Just hearing those words lights a fire in my heart as a man. I call this part of the Camelot Code, holding his banner high for him like the lady on the wall at the castle. Because even though they don't show it, men fluctuate wildly in their confidence several times a day. In the man's world, he is always, even if he won't admit it, struggling for status and success among men and trying to feel good about himself. And when he doesn't, when his confidence flags, when he loses sight of his core goodness and self-worth, then there you are, the one woman in the world who shows him that you believe in him. But here's the secret. Most women just say, don't worry, you can do it. Now, that's just being a cheerleader, and cheerleaders are many and replaceable. Instead, what makes a man truly devote himself to you is that you mirror his heroic core back to him, his inner greatness as a good man, even a great and noble man, when all the outer stuff of life is hard. That's the difference between being a mere cheerleader and the lady high on the castle wall for whom he does everything, to whom he is devoted. Just as a knight of Camelot could glance back at the castle and see his lady beaming her support and confidence in him, so must your man see you. When you mirror back a man's core, heroic greatness, it sustains him. But more, it energizes him and fuels him to give his best, not only to you, but also to the world. Once a man tastes this with you, there's no going back, and he will keep you by his side forever. And I'll show you how to communicate these things to him on a first date, a second date, online, offline, and as he grows helplessly in love with you right into marriage and into your happy life together forever. Do it wrong, miss any of these steps, and you'll miss out on this whole beautiful dance into lifelong love. But when you do it right, you will experience exactly what the most mysterious and loved women throughout history have known: the Camelot Code, which produces an almost dreamlike trance over men. Guinevere inspired Lancelot to be the greatest and most noble knight in all of Europe. He would do anything in her name, and even in the midst of battle, she was in his heart, as it's written, and his mind. It was all for her. And the great story, the founding story of Western romance, Tristan and Isolde, her hold over her beloved Tristan in their great defining medieval tale of love is so powerful that, gravely wounded in battle, he holds on to life knowing that only if she could appear, she could heal him. The meaning here is that you, as a man's high banner, his lady, as the focus and inspiration of his devotion, literally gives your man life. When you use the Camelot Code, and I'll give you the exact words, the exact gestures, the exact responses, the exact messages, you literally give us reason to live. This is not something you will learn in other dating articles, books, and most teachers. But this is the core of devotion. That is the power of the Camelot Code. Would call young men that you can be nothing less than a man's very fate. And as I began sharing the code with my clients, I started hearing them say things like this. This is from Marie in Nashville. She said, "Men have always wanted me to be around at their convenience," just like I say, "but now my man makes me the center of his world." Joni in Columbia, Missouri says, "What kind of superpowers do you have, Adam? I'm a 49-year-old single mother and continuing ed teacher, and now not only are the other teachers after me every day for dates and dinners, but even my students, right down into their late 20s, are asking to date me. Thank you." Adam, says Marie in Cherry Hill, New Jersey, "What you taught me was like magic. I've never felt so confident and so beautiful since I became the lady in the high window. I narrowed my dates down to 2 men, and now Jerry and I plan to marry at a small private ceremony in Italy, where my mother was born." Ellen in Dallas, "Dear Adam, men have always liked me as a friend, but since I changed my language and behaviors along the Camelot Code, they are like flies to honey. This feels like magic, but I know, as you say, it's simple psychology. Whatever it is, I feel as popular as a teenage girl in her prime, and I'm 58. That's Ellen. Jesse in Kansas City, Missouri, "Gotta say, Adam, it was tiring always trying to please men who couldn't be pleased. Now that you got me turning that around, I've had more dates in 3 months than I've had in 3 years. And there's this one guy who's winning right now. Good things ahead." So, you already see the Camelot Code works universally for all women across age, race, body type, income. And then I'm sharing so much hard-won and life-changing relationship magic today on a very deep level, mind you, and only to attract men of high character. And I'm planning to turn later what I'm teaching you here into a high-ticket private coaching group. And I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to leave this training out here for the public. I just wanted to put it all down in one place and get it out there. So watch it now while it's still online and it's still available. For the last 15 years, I've been teaching women about the mysterious, powerful heart-mind-spirit connection that creates the irresistible Camelot effect on the best men. This effect makes a man not only notice you, but they feel an irresistible desire to be devoted to you and your happiness. Picture the way a knight glances up at his lady, and his heart fills with pride and love. You can feel the warmth and love in his eyes as he silently communicates, "You are the light of my life. Everything I do ultimately is for you." You want a man to look at you and feel that, right? Of course you do. I think of it as a man finally coming home. I often call it being his happy harbor, where he can't take his eyes off of you, and his eyes will well with tears, not tears of sadness, but with tears of gratitude for the profound good fortune of having found you, won your heart, and having you in his life night and day. That's what you get when you use the simple magic words and simple changes inside the Camelot Code that flip that devotion switch. In fact, let me give you 3 quick tips from the Camelot Code, just so you can see it. You can use them right now, starting on a first date, to get a taste of what your new life is going to look like. Camelot Code tip number 1. So, men are naturally competitive, and you will wake up a true worthy man's knight's heart when you convey to him that he is special. So, if you're on a date, and this is true for you about him, say something like, "I feel so at ease with you. You're different," keyword, "you're different from other men. You seem genuine," another keyword, "genuinely open and curious about who I am. You ask great questions." Now, I'm not going to go into all the deep psychology and neurolinguistic programming that's in this, but what you're doing here is you're guiding a man into his heroic, noble, best self. There are several coded messages that wake up a man's heart in those simple sentences, and I have a lot of more, which I unpack for you in the Camelot Code, in the downloadable program, which I'll offer you in a second, and you can grab that below or in a couple of minutes. Remember, a man needs to feel he's winning with you if he's going to devote himself to you. So what's coded into the Camelot Code, into the devotion switch, is letting him know how to win. Camelot Code tip number 2, connect his virtues to reward. Because of man's evolutionary psychology, it's the one way to alert him he's doing the right thing, and he should keep doing it for you. So, for example, you say something like, there's something deeply trustable about you that's important to me, and it's very sexy. That last word lets him know that this is important, in case he didn't hear the word important. The highest character men awaken to you when they feel you see what is core to their self-value, like, for example, trustability, which we just mentioned, and their value to you. By the way, this is how we filter out less than trustable men. We code it into how we speak to them, and we flip that devotion switch. If they're not going to live up to the high character qualities that you will open any kind of dating relationship with, they'll vanish really fast. But if they're high character men, they'll be called upward. Connecting all this to their sexy shows them that your feminine, remember what I said about your body, your feminine gets their core heroic masculine, and it opens up that beautiful sensual polarity, which is important. Most women will never know how to do this. Camelot Code tip number 3, and this is almost always the first question women ask me, how do you have the talk to move a man from simple dating into a real relationship? Well, once again, you have to reverse what popular wisdom said. What you don't want to do is turn your budding love into a burden on him, which is what unskilled women do when they start talking about commitment. When you follow the simple tools of the Camelot Code, you inspire him to bring it up first. So when he does something thoughtful for you, a heroic act of some kind, you say, for example, and again, this is from a selection of the many phrases, sentences, coded language to waken a man that you will get in the Camelot Code program, you say something like, you're an extraordinary man. I could be very proud of you and make you very happy for a long time. So you're not saying, hey, we've been dating 3 months, I want you to commit to me. You're planting in his brain the reward of being devoted to a woman like you. Again, there's a lot of subtle messaging in these simple 2 sentences. Remember, I did language and communications right through the PhD level at Stanford. So there's a lot here that you will never get in the public realm. When you use the Camelot Code, you connect his sense of heroism to your appreciation for him, to reward, make you very happy, to a very long time, which implants in his mind the idea that this is a serious long-term relationship. So rather than compelling or forcing into making a decision, right, which men hate, instead you've planted the seed and the reward for him to step up and make the very smart decision of making you his life partner forever. Now, these things are easy once you know the Camelot Code, and you can have it. In fact, you can have it all. Now, by now I'm sure you can feel how much I love helping people create and inspire real love, the devotional kind. And I only have time to work with individuals in my private coaching sessions, so much time. I only have so much time to do it one-on-one. So I decided to help thousands more women by taking all of my best insights, lessons, magic phrases that my clients have put to successful work again and again, and simply put them all together for you in one easy-to-follow system. So can I take a moment and share with you what that system looks like, because it's really laid out step by step. Well, you're already familiar with this. Its full name is the Camelot Code. The long name is the Timeless Path. It's universal, from mere dating to a lifetime of devotion. Now, I created a proven 5-step process, honed down, that has helped hundreds of my private clients go from tired and frustrated with men to having the man they've always wanted. Not only that, to have that man treat them with such passion, such devotion, that many tell me personally it's exhilarating and almost beyond a dream. Now, I'll show you how to release those qualities within yourself so that men simply can't resist you. Whether you're single or even in a relationship, you'll soon notice how the best men begin to look at you longingly and listen to your every word, all without having to play those silly relationship games that make you feel like you're in high school. Instead, all you need to do is follow the steps in these 5 easy modules. And I'm going to do something unusual so that you know exactly what you're getting and why it works to turn men into your devoted noble knight. I'm going to pull back the curtain here and show you exactly what's inside. This way, you can feel 100% confident as you progress unstoppably on the Camelot Code path to love that you are doing the right thing. First module, how to awaken his inner king so he treats you like his queen. Now, I should add, it's video and audio, so you can listen to it or watch it. I'll show you why all your efforts to be noticed, attractive, desirable, and the one won't mean a single thing unless a man can feel that you're entering his life awakens his best self. If you can reflect back his inner kingship, the difference is life and death for his interest in you. Now, what I've discovered is that often women unconsciously hold back and give men the impression that they're unloving, that they don't see his inner greatness. In this module, I'll explain how to not do that in detail, how to honestly and authentically reflect back to him his heroic core. So you will be that one standout woman who inspires him to devote himself to making you happy. I'll also show you that by playing by, The Rules, the worst dating book ever written, 90% of women chase off the best men while sucking in the predators and players. I'll also show you how you might dangerously and unknowingly be conveying to men that you seem desperate, which I won't let you do, because queens are not desperate. These sentences convey this unwanted messages. I'm of lower value. I won't let you use those sentences. I won't let you convey that because which woman is a noble man going to choose? The lady high on the castle wall or the one at the gates begging for approval, begging entrance? It's the same with dating. In fact, you make this one mistake, it can make a man go from being deeply attracted to repulsed and angry and just run wrong word. Instead, I'm going to show you exactly what to say and do whenever a man compliments you or performs even the simplest nice gesture for you, and how to tap into his one core master emotion that makes him feel he can't rest, and he won't rest until you're happy. When you just give the simple response I show you, the highest quality men will feel invigorated, ennobled, inspired, and eager to go miles out of their way just to be around you. And I'm going to give you my proven online dating profile template that makes the best and most noble men line up to ask you out to dinner. I give you the structure, you just fill in the blanks. Easy as anything. So Module 1 opens the door to the men of high character. And Module 1 on its own is worth $77. How to awaken his inner king so he treats you like his queen. Module 2, next step, how to identify a man who is noble and worthy enough for you. Now, this is really important because women give their hearts to the wrong men. I turn you here into the world's greatest spy. I give you the 3 questions that tell you if he's a keeper or not, and exactly how to read his answers, both in his body language and his words. I'll show you also how to identify if he really is a man of high character or just faking it. This one little trick is worth thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours in wasted time and heartbreak in itself. Now, if you're sick and tired of picking the wrong guys, you can now finally know if any man worth giving your heart to, but only if you perform this little test and pay attention to this one personality clue. It's the most proven predictor of how he'll treat you in the future. Now, the unique thing about this module is not only that you will be a no-mistake spy, quickly learning who he really is, but I'm also giving you the tools to spy on yourself and make sure your picker is finally repaired after all the mistakes you made in the past. Now, this is the one thing women I think most appreciate from me, how to make sure your picker is working correctly and doesn't waste your time. So that's Module 2, also worth $77 on its own. Module 3 is getting him to reveal his truths early, how to get any man to open up to you, reveal his true feelings, and be grateful to you that he did. Here I'll show you how to skip all the masks of early dating and not only get him to open up to you, but make him grateful and bow at your feet for giving him the exact safe opportunity he's been secretly yearning for to share his truths with the right woman. That woman will now be you. Watch what happens when you do what I show you. A man will look at you with love and desire, admiration, even a kind of awe, because when you use these simple techniques drawn from my many years of coaching men and women together, as well as leading communications research, he will finally feel free of wearing those heavy masks men feel forced to show off to the outside world. The benefit? He will feel grateful that he can finally be authentic and anchor that experience with you and you alone. And also, you finally get to be sure that you're getting a man's truth and not his false show. I mean, how long have you dreamed of getting that? You'll learn how easy it is to make even the most eligible men in your town instantly drop what they're doing and listen to you whenever you need to be heard. Why he'll be grateful that he finally gets to have a woman who is so clear with him, and why this makes him feel like a king. That module, How to Get Any Man to Tell You the Truth, $47, although it's really priceless. Now, Module 4 is owning the power of your deep feminine mystique. I call it the Guinevere effect because it goes along with the Camelot Code and how to embody that inspired and irresistible feminine mystique that men really can't resist. Now, I'll give you the exact detailed behaviors that men find wildly attractive that most women would never think of. Specifically, how to flip his on button, but only if you choose to, and drive him wild with desire. Want to make a high character man feel protective of you and attentive to your needs? Well, you can do this, but only if you meet his deepest, almost primitive, raw emotional masculine core. He'll feel so addicted to you that he'll never even think of looking at another woman. And the key to this, don't talk to him like he's one of your girlfriends. Do this other thing instead. Use the proven reflective listening technique and watch his head turn toward you and hang on your every word. I show you how to do this, to instantly disarm a man with this one simple change in how you speak to him. One warning, you got to use this one carefully, because when you use this magical way of communicating from your feminine mystique, you'll make him almost powerless, confused, and unable to refuse your request, whatever it may be. That's Module 4, and that's, again, priceless. Its value is $197. Remember, I've been teaching this for years. Module 5 is the key to lasting devotional love. Now, I include these key relationship skills that create a happy castle and a happy kingdom, because so many people focus on dating, they forget the basics of creating devotional love over time. So in Module 5, I'll give you the culmination of my 14 years of leading men and women into lasting relationships, the step-by-step map into devotional love. I will show you how to make a man not only hear what you say, but feel it in his heart as well. This is so potent that other women will instinctively do anything to prevent their man from having you accidentally use it on him. And for mystique, I'll show you that one thing you can wear that will make him notice you instantly. And no, it's not 6-inch heels or black lingerie. At my workshops, I bring in top Hollywood dressers and have learned the secrets to subconscious attraction through adornment. You probably have one of these items in your closet now and never realize its power to make the man you've always wanted be mesmerized by you in a crowded room or after years of marriage. And I'll show you how to melt any tension and anger so that you'll go from conflict into cuddling in less than 5 minutes. And that's my key phrase, conflict into cuddling. It's doable. They're skills. These are skills to learn. And without them, even the most promising love can fizzle in minutes. But with these essential skills, what for most people would spiral down into fights become sweet opportunities to increase his appreciation of your mastery of love and wisdom. Now, I've watched my private clients go from discouraged to having more attention from high-character men than they've ever experienced. Module 5, that's value is $97. And all you need are these 5 step-by-step modules with specific real-life examples, practical tips and suggestions, magical phrases. You will not have to guess about what to do because I've done the work for you. It's simple. Here's what's happened for these women who tried the Camelot Code. Catherine used my on-button technique. At 74 years old, she found the love of her life. She and her new husband actually rowed boats together for exercise off the Nova Scotia coast. This is one of my favorite clients ever. She came to me at 73 and got married at 74 to this wonderful man, and this lights my heart up. Deborah, another client, realized she had been using my #1 relationship killer on all her dates, and by making this simple change, she was engaged within 6 months. These stories come in every week. Women have paid over $3,000 with me to have me personally teach them what's in the Camelot Code. And the reason they continue to come to see me as a client and tell their girlfriends to come see me is simple. What I teach is the inside path that works like nothing else out there because its focus is devotion, not commitment. So let me ask you a quick question, because to me this is fun. If the only thing you got from the Camelot Code was to save you years of pain and thousands of dollars wasting time getting ready for and sitting through dates not worth your time, if the only thing you got from the Camelot Code was to find your fiancé, would it be worth it? When I created this program and taught it live, I wanted to make it affordable for as many women as I could. And even though added up, the value was $19.97, I know that's out of reach for many of my most sincere students who want their Camelot Code man. So then I decided to offer a deep discount of 70% for the low price of $297. For the level of training you'll receive, It's just a fraction of the true value for the entire Camelot Code. But even with that, some women beg me to offer it lower. Times can be tough out there, and I want every woman, including you, to have a man's undying devotion. So I'm going to make this even easier for you, because I've seen the results for myself in person from women who've now experienced the love from men they've always hoped for. I want to make sure you have the same success other women have had for yourself. So even though this key to finding and inspiring your high character man is massively discounted at $297, I'm going to now take away any excuse you might have for not giving it a try. I think you're going to like this. I'm going to offer this package not for $197, not even $97, because you've shown me, you've been with me now through this presentation that you're different from the masses. You've shown me you care enough about your happiness and a life of love to listen closely today with me and go past the surface, because that shows me you take your personal life seriously, unlike most people. So today, because you stayed with me, I'm giving you the complete Camelot Code program right now, today only, just $77. All of it for you now. I'm not crazy. And yes, I realize I'm offering it at a fraction of what my private clients typically pay. They might get mad. And even better, I'm 100% certain you'll start seeing real results in 90 days, which is, by the way, less than 49 cents a day, just to try out the Camelot Code and have your true man show up. That's less than you spend on a tiny little sweet at the Starbucks counter. And love lasts a whole lot longer and, by the way, has no calories. Well, you can have it all right now. Just click on the download button below. How great is that? Well, actually gets better. I'm going to give you more to assure your success and happiness, because I want you to be my next success story and have your photo up on my wall of wins. Now, why would I make such a crazy, generous offer? Well, first of all, I think it's obvious that I love this work. You can hear it in my voice. It makes me a better man and a better partner in my own personal life with my partner. Plus, how do you think I feel when I get emails like this on a daily basis? Dear Adam, I'm very happy to let you know that my revised Camelot Code profile was read by a very lovely man in early December. He and I have been seeing each other since December 6th. He is the most evolved, notice high character, man I have ever personally known, and know he supports me in my ongoing learning and growing. I have told him about you, and he has listened with me to several of your classes, the ones about how to create a securely attached couple bubble relationship. So many of the topics being addressed in your webinars are timely for us as a couple in a new and committed monogamous relationship. That's from Jeanette in Atlanta, Georgia. And another one. Adam, you should be nominated for a Nobel Prize. Yes, I think that would be great. For 2 years, I was flailing online, she said, and on my dates. I thought I was doing it right, but now I see I was wasting precious time. I quickly filtered out the losers and flakes with your Camelot Code, and now the problem is that I have to choose between 4 great men, and I love them all. Help! I have referred several of my friends and colleagues, including other therapists, this is from a therapist, to the Camelot Code and your Smart Daters Academy, and I'm happy to see that some of them are now members. More importantly, thank you for providing such wonderful opportunities for learning. Thank you for walking the path that you do about relationships. Your forthrightness about your own life and corrective action you have taken as your learning broadens and deepens gives me great courage and renewed vigor to continue on my own journey. From Cynthia in Phoenix. Now, I mate with women every week who have had their heart broken by the men they thought they loved, like Emily and Carly. Or they can't find a great man, a man of high character, because they were dating wrong, not by character first. They were dating backwards and doomed. They were following the dreaded convenience path that most bad dating advice hawks rather than the Camelot Code, trying to force unwanted commitment when they could have succeeded so much more easily by simply inspiring devotion through the proven steps of the Camelot Code's 5 modules. Without the Camelot Code, I've had to look in their eyes and watch the pain and fear as they describe what it's like to have a man cruelly leave them, just ghost on them, and they don't know why. Well, I do. And I think you might now, too, now that you're on the inside with me. I've seen too many women blindsided when the man they gave their heart to unexpectedly told them he no longer loved them, and they never saw it coming. Now, I don't want that to ever happen to you. In fact, just to show you how committed I am to your success in inspiring devotion, I'm even giving you my triple 60-day risk-free guarantee that you'll get your money back if you do what I show you and it doesn't change your life, or if your hope isn't restored, or if you put it to work and it doesn't spark something with a new man. That's 100% money back guarantee 3 ways. I know this works, and you're about to see it does too. This way you have no risk at all. It's almost like borrowing the whole program for a test period. That's how 100% absolutely certain I am the Camelot Code will work for you. So it's easy and safe for you. Just go ahead and download it now. Try it out for yourself, how good life can be when you lead with character first. You will enjoy how men will look at you more intently and ask, maybe shyly at first, just to be close to you and hang on your every word, trying to please you instead of you conveniently trying to please them. It's time you feel like the most powerful woman you actually are, the kind who inspires a noble man exactly as in all the epic love stories across time. It's your time now. Again, if you're not 100% satisfied within 60 days, I'll happily refund your entire purchase price, no questions asked. I'm so confident that the Camelot Code will give you the love and devotion that my private clients have experienced that I've taken all the risk off of you and taken it on myself. So all you need to do is click on the Order Now button below and get started. Try it out. Now, sometimes women in relationships ask me if the Camelot Code works for them as well. Will it re-spark their marriage? Well, of course it will. This attraction is universal and for all women, so I did something extra for everybody, so love isn't lost once it's found. I've added a unique bonus training. They're here for everyone. How to keep inspiring your man into love and increase his devotion to you every single day. And by the way, free, which is solid gold for both single women about to start their lifetime love and women already in relationships. So the free bonus number 1 is called The Secret Psychology of Secure Couplehood. It's drawn from the latest work on the neurobiology of attachment psychology. Don't worry, it's big words, but I make it very simple. It's easy to understand when I explain it. I'll show you how to quickly and permanently create the clean agreements, habits, and behaviors that give both of you the sense of safety, sweetness, and dedication that you both really want. I'll show you what men find irresistible, what gets so many single and married women in trouble, how a man approaches a relationship differently than a woman, and why that's often fatal to your relationship if you don't understand what I teach here. This guide will give you the blueprint to not only start attracting the kind of high character men you're interested in, but who'll stay devoted to you for the long haul. I'll also show you how to get past those games that some single men, even the best single men, play. And I'm giving you another bonus, how to get and keep the passion high, steady, and breathless over time. So many wives and girlfriends have confessed to me how loving and attentive their men were at the beginning, but how for some strange reason, their passion just seemed to die a slow death. Now, what's sad is what I know from working with so many men that they long for that same excitement and passion that you do. And inside this bonus training, I'll give you the insider key to his erotic night so that you tap both his deepest physical and emotional need and how you can fulfill it so he'll do almost anything to keep you happy, so that he looks at you with red-hot, fiery desire like he did in the beginning. In fact, with even more passion and desire than he did in the beginning. You know, it's tragic. I've seen so many times how even the smartest women forget how to activate his devotional passion once they're in a relationship. And it's easier than you think. And I'm giving you another bonus, a taste of the best and most universally helpful resources of all. How would you like to learn these following skills from the greatest love experts on earth? I'm talking mastering detailed skills like simple declarative statements that bond you together, how to move from uncertainty to exclusivity or decide not to, the rules of forgiveness and the 5 stages of dating, the smart woman's guide to compliments, appreciation, and loving communication, the psychological secrets to creating irresistible attraction, what your ideal lover or partner needs and where to meet the best men, how to turn conflict into deeper connection and cuddling, how to create safety, trust, and happiness in a couple bubble, staying connected and dealing with third-party threats, meaning other women, bulletproof early clues to tell if he's a true catch, dating smart through the fog of falling in love and infatuation, make sure that doesn't catch you. Well, those are the titles of the video classes I've prepared for you. What makes these video classes so unique and necessary for you? They're Cliff's Notes of some of the most important books, researchers, and couples experts of our time. I've taken and I've read all the top books and research on love and relationship, and I pulled out what you need to know. Now, you and I both know you probably don't have the time to read all these books yourself, so I read them for you, and I cut out all the stories and filler and extra stuff, and I give you what you need to know. Now, when you download the Camelot Code below and try out these Smart Daters Academy videos, I'm going to give you them over 20 classes from our Smart Dater Academy private VIP vault, which you can watch at your leisure. In other words, in about 5 minutes from now, you will access crucial lessons on how to inspire and keep love, not only drawn on my 15 years of active, on-the-ground research with both men and women, but also drawn from the other top researchers and authors in the world. How does that sound for $77? This is my way of assuring that you not only find the right man, that you not only spark irresistible attraction in the right man, but that you continue to inspire undying devotion in the right man right through the 5 stages of dating and deep into a lifelong love that grows and deepens forever, so that you continue to deepen your connection with your man and ensure that he feels like the luckiest man in the world and brags about you to his friends. Now, this is probably the easiest decision you've ever made because not only will I send you high level 20 videos for free, these bonuses alone are worth over $247, but I'm giving them to you for free just for claiming your copy of the Camelot Code today. So, free bonus number 1, Secret Psychology of Secure Couplehood. Free bonus number 2, How to Get and Keep the Passion High, Steady, and Breathless, and 20 detailed expert communication skills video classes from my Smart Daters Academy, plus, of course, the entire Camelot Code program. A total value of over $1,150. Yours, just $77 today. Like I said, I've done my best to make this the easiest yes of your life. And I think there are a few things we probably agree upon now. We agree that you don't have years to waste. We agree you don't want to repeat heartbreak or endless dates with the wrong man that lead nowhere. We agree that you definitely don't want to keep raising your hopes only to get them dashed. And we agree that you can't get a better, fast path to inspiring a loving, protective, kind man of high character into devotion than the Camelot Code because it's universal and timeless. And it works for all women, any age, any body type, anywhere and across time. So right now we've reached that life-defining crossroads because only 2 things can happen right now from this moment moving forward. You can ignore this video and what you've learned and stay powerless and stuck and go back to making the same unconscious mistakes as before, attracting lower character men by mistake, not because you're bad or they're bad, but because you don't have the information. Or you can use the proven tools and techniques of the Camelot Code to find your dream man and your dream life. And the terrible thing, what most people do, they fall back into the old self-destructive patterns without knowing it. And you'll always wonder if you missed your chance to be loved and cherished by that one special man of high character you were meant to be with. I mean, we're talking about the kind of epic love and devotion that you deserve, that you've been preparing for your whole life, the kind that Emily and Carly found with the Camelot Code. Now, you could miss it all by going back to the old ways, drawing in men afraid of devotion. Or you can make the one smart decision that could change your life into the life of love you're ready for right now when you try out the Camelot Code and discover what really makes a man beg to be with you and make you happy from his deepest heroic, masculine, emotional, and spiritual core. With the Camelot Code, you'll fix your broken picker, you'll have the tools to spot the phonies before they try their charms on you, you'll filter out the flakes from the true noble knights out there, you'll magnetize men by their high character first, and they will be grateful to tears that they have finally found a woman like you. I've seen so many women win with the Camelot Code, and so many resist the call to it, and they lose out. They end up alone, lonely, forgotten. That's why I feel responsible to alert you. One thing I've seen over and over is if you don't make a decision to change right now, it's very unlikely you ever will. How you do anything is how you end up doing everything. So being bold, being decisive, making decisions in your favor, investing in yourself will set a pattern for the rest of your life. You either stand up for your life and your love and you say, I will do what it takes to create the love I want, or you shrink away from it and go back to what you were doing before. All those old heart-destroying, time-wasting, broken picker ways. That's why I'm stretching out my hand today with the key to unlocking a man's heart on a profound and lasting level. That's why I made this easiest decision of your life so you can advance quicker than any other way possible into the arms of love. But you have to take this gift I'm offering you now. All you need to do is step into this new life, this new level where you will be attracting an entirely new, better class of men, a man of high character and charm and kindness and humor and solidity, a noble man, your one true Camelot man. Just click the Order Now button below this video, and you'll have a nice chance to review your order before advancing to my 100% secure order page. Simply let me know who you are and how you want to join. And in addition, you can even get a personal coaching call with me if you so desire, or you can even hire me to write your profile. After your order is complete, you get immediate access to everything in less than 5 minutes. Now, how easy and cool is that? We all look forward to having you in this amazing community, me most of all. So just go ahead and click the Order Now button below, and I'll see you inside. Thank you. Remember, I've done all the work for you, and now I'm here waiting to show you how easy it can be to inspire a man into a lifetime of devotion, as the woman you already are, and now finally equipped with the eternal secret in all its details. He just needs to see it, and the Camelot Code will open his eyes wide and keep them lovingly fixated on you right into relationship, passion, care, and a lifetime of devotion. Don't wait, or this chance may never come again. So click the Order Now button below. I can't wait to meet you and to get started and to support you into your life of true devotional love. So get the entire Camelot Code system now and all the bonuses too, and I look forward to hearing your story as you succeed in finding your Camelot man. Thank you so much.